Hello everyone and welcome back to the stream. The players have actually started a little bit earlier just because they want to get the games done. This one's a little bit tighter on time. And we have 20phoenix's Undead playing Gritter's Wood Elves. So let me just start typing in all the positions.
Spot prize this round are crowd surfs. We've got 5 spot prizes, so when you do a crowd surf, come and take a prize.
So the spot prizes are just generally little giveaways by Tritex. So I'm just coming back. I was waiting to find out who was actually driving before changing the thing at the top. But thank you for the reminder. So it looks like 20phoenix is driving. There we go. So hopefully that's all clear in terms of the players. Do note that for the Wood Elves, oh hang on. Okay, I see. He's actually rolling. He's rolling on the pitch. Do note for the Wood Elves, I'm talking about the band colour, not the positional colour. So the catchers will have yellow bases, the War Dancers will have red bases, and the thrower has a white base. But I've put thrower leader green because he's got a green band. So hopefully that's not too confusing and it's easy to see who is who. So 20phoenix here, just going for a bit of damage on the line. Gritter has spread his elves out so that they can't be ganged up on too much. He's not really worried about armor breaks because there's nothing he can do about that, especially with the Mighty Blow mummies. It's more of a case of he doesn't want them trapped. So if he puts them all together and they all get knocked down, then it wouldn't be too difficult for 20phoenix just to use a few zombies and trap some of those elves so that they have to stay on the floor and potentially even have some fouls against them. So if all three of the elves were, say, down here, they may get knocked down in these squares, and then 20phoenix can just come around and trap them in. So I feel like a bit of a liar. I did promise you guys some halflings. So Wilsif's halflings won their game, so they're one of the teams on 3-1-0. As we see an armor break. Oh no, that was a casualty, and then a 6 is a dead. So that's a lineman dead. So we saw an armor break, then a 10 for the casualty roll, then a 6 for the injury type, just to see whether it was worth using the Apo. But you wouldn't really want it for a lineman. You'd want to save it for something a bit better anyway, or maybe even a knockout. Anyway, yeah, so Wilsif won his game, so there's quite a lot of people on 3-1-0. However, Wilsif was drawn against Panico Black, who we featured in the last round, and we basically have a rule that we're not going to show the same player twice in a row. So that meant that we unfortunately had to not show that game. And then looking down the list, we saw this good game. So 20phoenix is a Welsh international player, very, very good coach. And Gritter is a very well-established coach on Fumble that has recently moved into tabletop. He plays in the same league as I do. And he's a very, very good player as well. Definitely one who's getting more and more accustomed to good tabletop play. So if you want to see the round draw yourself, I've just put the link up, so you go to there, and just under the infographic you'll see the round 5 NAF download. So the big news for the tournament itself, that we had 3 draws from the top 4 tables. The top 4 tables were the only games that had won all of their matches in the first day. And that means that only Rolex and K-Food on table 1 have won all 4 of their games. So this definitely means that all of the 3-1-0 players are still in contention of making the final. So you will need to win that. And so a 4-1-0 player will definitely be in the final. And there's the potential for Rolex and K-Food to draw the game and both of them make it to the final. or they could draw the game and neither of them make it to the final. So they really need to win the game to make sure that they make that that final position. But it means that pretty much everyone down to table 9 is still in with a shot of making the final. So we have 18 players in contention for a final spot, including a halfling player, including Thomas W., who is, I think, either 10 or 11 years old, and is, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, and is 5 tables ahead of his dad. That's right, yeah. His dad is Pete W. So Pete W. Is an England international player. He won Euro Bowl when we were streaming it back in October. So yeah, he's obviously been teaching his son a few tricks or two. And Thomas W. is playing with his lizard against San's Dark Elf. So former NAF president San, who we had commentating in the last round with us, is now against Thomas W. So there's every chance, if Thomas W wins, and if Wilsif wins, we could have a 10-year-old playing against halflings in the final of the NAF Championship. So that would be bananas, but also hilarious. So Gritter being very aggressive here and immediately looking to push some players forwards in order to cause some pressure. The last thing he wants is for the Undead to be able to group up, because then they can just cage nicely and focus on murdering elves, and potentially you could even lose the game that way because the elves just won't have enough to be able to score late. Or turn it again for the win. So good pressure here. We've got this player tagged up, these players tagged up, and the ball carrier tagged up. And so 20phoenix is going to be looking to drop some of these players back to help out. So it's important that Gritter tries to form some sort of screen to disconnect the back Undead with the front Undead. Yeah, just 11 elves. So he's dropped the Gritter has dropped the Treeman, but that's allowed him to take an Apo and an extra reroll. Oh, it's a 1. He can't use it so soon, surely. Yeah. Oh, of course it's an unbreak. Punished. But just a stun. That's fine, he'll be okay with that. And over to 20 Phoenix's turn 2. So now he looks to get himself out of a bit of a pickle. If nothing else, just having to drop so many players back is really good for the Wood Elf defense, because it means that rather than trying to grind 13 squares from this position, you're trying to do it sort of 17 squares back from here, and that is it's actually much harder. Yes, the Undead have 2 subs, so they can get they can get into the fouling game. Adric, why is 20 Phoenix your mortal enemy? And why has this led you to the dark side of supporting Wood Elves against anyone? Oh, perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable.
Hi everybody, all the spot prices have gone for this round. Sorry about that.
So yeah, 20 finish there. It's quite sensible. It's early on. There was it's like a fairly slow play there, but it's a really important time. Like if you're going to use your time, I think for Undead, you want to use it early. So he had a really good think there to make sure. I need to get the play down. That was with the tackle white. Oh, and he's still on armor. Just another stun. So yeah, it's quite. I think 20 Phoenix played it well there. He didn't rush into anything, and just made sure that he had it all right in his head, just to make sure there weren't any mistakes. I think one of the difficult things to do with Undead because they're so slow is try to connect the team back together. Once they're connected, they can usually steamroller you. But if they're not connected, it can be a real problem. So this is the wrestle ghoul. So we're forming, well, there's a gap there, but we're forming like a cage around there. So he's managed to get players back together. So 20phoenix has left it there for his cage, quite loose. Some of his players are still a little bit disconnected. So Gritter here is going to try and put as much pressure on as possible. Oh, it is straight into a double skull. Rolls the dice for luck, but only into a push.
wow, so Stig's still on table 2. It's quite a draw.
Yeah, Rolex and K-Food were the only players to win their last round. All of the other three of the top 4 tables drew.
Oh.
So I think all the way down to table 9, people are on 3-1-0.
What, including Thomas Dobby,
Yes.
the 9-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
So we could potentially see a halfling 9-10-year-old final. I really hope that happens. Rodex was saying that if Wilf wins his game,
Yep.
he may deliberately lose his game
Yep.
because he wouldn't want to get to the final and be known as the person that lost the NAF Championship finals to halflings for the rest of his life.
That'd be a big cross to bear. Why did you
crushing.
move the dice mat?
He just moved it. But it's okay, it's alright. For now. We'll tell him at half time. So the kick was quite deep. 20phoenix managed to get it with a couple of screening players, but then Gritter got some guys around the side to press all 3 of them. So 20phoenix basically had to send the tackle right back to clear away a catcher and has just sort of reformed the cage. And the result is that Gritter's team is now a little bit spread out. But so is 20phoenix's team, and he is much slower.
I'm almost starting to regret not playing this year because it looks like it could have been quite an easy run in.
Yeah, some heavyweights not here.
Although that said, I was going to take Lizardman, so I probably would have just played 5 to Wood Elves. And
Yeah. That's it, anticipating the meta as well can be a big thing. few other notable games. We've got Lycos against Cam. Another young player coming through. We've already mentioned Thomas W is 5 tables ahead of his dad. The England capped Pete W.
Absolutely. Will we ever get an under 18 playing for England? It's the question.
Well, talking of young players, we have another troubled youth playing against Chankas.
You guys look like tech nerds. How's it going?
Yeah, good.
How's it going for you, Jim?
Stress-free?
I can't believe we might have halflings or a 9-year-old in the final. Or
It definitely doesn't count.
yeah. Thomas W. Pete W. Son.
Against San, table 9.
This
Rolex was saying, imagine getting to the NAF Championship final and being known as the person that lost it to halflings for the rest of your life.
when I won mine after championship, it was an absolute gauntlet. Like, I think the Crackle was the worst player I played.
Oh, really? Well, he's really good.
Yeah. But now,
It's not like the old days.
yeah. In Britain's Got Talent beats Triple Vision. Thank you all for coming.
Is 20phoenix just going for a standard cage with guard on the corners? Is that the...
Yeah, so mummy guard here, white guard there. Just to force the half dice.
He needs to protect. Needs to protect this white a little bit better. You know, if Good is playing for 8 turns, he's just going to be blitzing this guy off, and even a prone down here is fine. You're just slowing the drive down so much. And eventually, you can blitz him to the point where he can be taken out of the game. You know, traditionally, if I was going to have a cage like this, I would have a player there, just so that this guy can't be effectively tagged.
Yeah.
The best potential thing they can do is blitz off this zombie and then mark the.
That's a mummy.
Oh, that's a mummy as well. Well, in case, yeah, there definitely needs to be a player here to protect the guard.
Yeah. So it's quite aggressive from Gritter. He's already lost 2 players.
Really casualties.
Yep. Yeah, he's using the wrong box, but they are casualties.
Well, as a player who's used Undead a lot of times, it's very nice to see that the Wood Elves are actually capable of suffering casualties. Every time I play this game, I end up 2 men down to Wood Elves with my Undead, which is, I can say that's a pretty difficult game. Yeah, Will got a one-turner to get to where he is.
Yep. Yep.
Nice. Not quite sure what's going on with Gritter's defense here. This guy looks like a pretty big target to go and whack, and then, you know, even a stun, you can just have a nice little cage here. Sorry. Here. Okay, so Gritter just took a little bit of a break from the table, which is why there was a slight pause in play.
So just had a quick look at some of the other games going on. Nothing too calamitous is happening at the moment. Panico has only broken armor on the halflings once so far.
Wow.
So yeah, that's quite an interesting game. It looks like Food has a couple of guys in the KO bin. So
Wow.
that is looking a bit tasty on the top table between him and Rolex.
What build does Rolex have? Does he have a star player on his?
I don't know actually. Yeah, I'm not sure. And pretty much all the games look very even. There's no piles of bodies in casualty boxes on any of the others. So here we have a tackle white going in on the. Is it the Frenzy War Dancer? Yeah, the Frenzy War Dancer.
I have to wonder why that war dancer was exposed.
Yeah, a little bit open, but gets away with it.
I suspect from
For
the
now.
positioning of the prone war dancer, he may be receiving a boot.
Yeah. Possibly from the skeleton. possibly from the zombie.
It's interesting. He's shuffling over his team, but that doesn't actually make any difference. The War Dancer still has a leap directly next to the War Carrier.
I do like the idea of like slight repositionings, just to kind of slightly change things up a bit.
Yeah. I'm really surprised.
What I don't agree is like going too far wide because you kind of put yourself in.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised that 20phoenix has gone for attritional block on this War Dancer here, rather than going for a positional block on him or him. It seems like he could just have like a cage somewhere around here.
Yeah. His armour is broken into a stun. Oh, sorry. As a foul, breaks armour into a stun, but the double fall was rolled.
Set off.
And the call was not argued. I think that's the first.
No, he was argued. It was roll 3.
Sorry, it was argued but not successfully.
Okay.
That's what I meant. As opposed to the previous game where it wasn't argued at all. It wasn't even attempted yet. I think that's the first failed argue
that we've seen.
Yeah.
Ref knows it's a show game, trying to keep people in the game.
I wonder if Phoenix didn't go for a positional block because he was thinking blitz, because he was thinking actually there's quite a lot of time left.
Yeah. The thing is the Widows don't really have a lot of opportunity to pressure you if you get into good position with Undead. Like, you got mummies, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
To stand a lineman next to a mummy.
Exactly, yeah. Thank you. Oh, nice, mate. Yeah, well, they are playing a little bit on the slow side. I checked some of the other games, they're about a turn or two ahead. So this has been a bit slow. Excuse me. No, we've pretty supplied up. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So now we get some cage pressure. So this is a good player to have here because in order to clear players away from the ball carrier, 20phoenix might be looking for a chain push split. So something like this guy coming in here and then hitting that player. Would result in them being sort of chained away. So up stands the white, pretty sensible move, not going to do anything else with that player this turn. So yeah, what would have been available to 20phoenix without this player here is he could have just gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got that T shape, which means that this block here could have then just chain pushed all the players away. With this guy here, that can't be done, which forces a blitz there if he wants that same chain push result. But of course, he'd much rather take the block with the wrestle ghoul than he would blitz with a zombie who doesn't have any skills. So yeah, like some of our other games, it's kind of a bit more strategic than tactical. 20phoenix is certainly making sure he doesn't make any mistakes here, which is good. He's not rushing into anything. Not really sure what that zombie move was for. And apparently, nor was he. I don't really see anything on there. I don't know, what do you guys in chat think? How would you play this move? Would you go for like a zombie blitz to chain push them away? Or would you just dodge the ghoul out? Maybe down left once that mummy's moved, because the ball could go a little bit safe. What's your thoughts? So he's going for this for the 3 dice. I don't think it's really necessary. Oh, and triple push. Oh yeah, it wouldn't have been a chain. Sorry, I completely messed that up. Of course, this is a sidestepper. So yeah, I completely missed that. Yeah, so he couldn't have gone in for a chain push there because it's a sidestepping player. So right, that's why he decided to go for 3 dice, because he really wanted that guy on the floor. Yeah, sorry about that. I missed that. Yeah, I think I would have gone for a dodge maybe. I mean, this corner of the cage has gone because we've got 2 other players here, so the cage can't be there. So he's going to have to reform the cage somewhere. Yeah, the builds are interesting. I think we were saying in game 2 we weren't really sure that the sidestepping catcher added very much to the roster. I do like the wrestle lineman on the elf side. I think that's a good choice. But then frenzy instead of tackle. Yeah, not sure a fan of that. Well, yeah, we looked at that, but the sidestep I don't think really adds too much. It should be fairly easy to manipulate a catcher 2 squares. So you're kind of you're making a very likely play just a little bit more likely. So yeah, I agree with you that I think it is for 1 turning. I think that's clearly kind of what it's for. But the sidestep frenzy combo isn't too bad, so you have frenzy to stop people wanting to go wide on the other side, and then you've got a sidestepper who can kind of own those 2 lanes. But I think a slightly more traditional build of tackle strip ball I would prefer, especially if you're up against other elves. the tackle piece can be very useful. On the Undead side, I think a 3 ghoul build is probably better than a 4 ghoul build. But I don't really play Undead, so it's we'll have to wait for Joe. Joe's gone to find out some information, so we'll have to wait for Joe to come back to get his thoughts on the Undead build. I think having at least 1 block ghoul, 1 wrestle ghoul is good. But I might be tempted for a mighty blow white. Don't know. Guard tackle's pretty good. I think the problem for a sure hands ghoul is that player picks the ball up, but it's not necessarily the player that you want to be running with it. You probably want the block ghoul to be running with it, in which case you have to sort of hand off to him anyway. So it's a little bit tricky, but again, yeah, I don't play Undead, so I'm not really in a position to talk or with any authority on that. You do see them fairly regular, and of course it's good against the strip ball wall dancer. And yeah, probably very, very useful this weekend with all the Wood Elf teams that are around. You're right. Ideally, you don't want the carrier to be hit, but then Blood Bowl.
So, just checked on some of the tables. K-Fogged is 1-0 up and receiving at the start of the second half.
Oh, that's very strong.
So it looks like he has a place in the final in his fingertips. And Wilsif's halflings are going to score in their drive against Panico's Amazons.
Oh my lord.
Looks like there might have been some throw teammate action. There's a halfling next to the end zone and everyone else is in the other half of the pitch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's whether Will can hang on for 8 turns or not at this point.
Yeah. Crazy.
So what? Been away for a little 5 minutes and Phoenix doesn't
Pretty much
move.
all the same, yeah.
Nothing's happened.
So yeah, Joe, just to quickly recap you, Gritter went in and hit this guard white, who you said he should be targeting, so he successfully targeted him on the corner, and then pressed a load of elves in against the ball carrier who was here at the time.
Yeah.
And there was a few hits, not very much happening, and then just a dodge out and a slightly different cage being reformed.
Okay.
And
Well,
now,
forcing a dodge is pretty good still from...
yeah, definitely. He put the sidestepping catcher up against the ball carrier as well as the thrower.
Okay.
And Phoenix rolled a 3 dice against the catcher and push.
Ooh.
So some of the guys were asking what your thoughts on this Undead build was.
This is the completely and utterly correct Undead build. Every single skill is what I would take, and 12 men is also what I would take. The reason...
Have you finished dabbling in the taking 2 skeletons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It waters down the value. You got to put all of that juice into
That's
that
it.
one player.
That's it.
The reason I said these skills are good is that the meta now in tournament gaming has moved very much away from slower teams like Orcs and Dwarves and Chaos Dwarves, and there's a lot more fast teams. Dark Elves have become a lot more popular recently. Tiers you get in every tournament now means that humans and necromantics appear a lot more often. So the situation where like toolbox skills like tackle and wrestle become a lot more valuable when you're playing against fast teams where you need to make your 1 or 2 shots count, and you can use them a lot more surgically as well. The days of just slamming Foreguard and Undead and just
rolling,
lumbering through slow teams, that's not going to work anymore.
Some of the guys are saying they quite like short hands on a ghoul.
Yeah, I've played a lot of short hands on ghouls, but I just don't think it's as valuable as
Like the second block.
Yeah, the 2-block ghouls is absolute minimum. It's like people undervalue them so much, but that's what makes the team.
So Cornite, there is a final in the NAF Championship. This is the final round of the normal Swiss tournament, and so the top 2 players go into the final. There is also a prize for the best of the rest, which is the person who finishes highest who wasn't in the final. But this is why it's almost like a 5-round tournament, which, as you can imagine, with 200 players is quite a race to get those 5 wins.
Although it seems that
Ladies and gentlemen,
there's definitely going to be somebody in the final with 4-0.
Yeah.
So please keep on. A reminder too, these miniatures are available for £5 if you want to spare one of these. And also a hello to Jonathan Taylor York. Hello Jonathan. Jonathan, put your hand up. Jonathan over here is the current main writer of Blood Bowl. If you have questions,
Or complaints.
About law, about rules, he's your
Or
man.
complaints.
Hello Jonathan.
Skull push. Love that on a 3-die.
Sidestep Catcher's living a charmed life, isn't he?
He is. He absolutely is.
So this is no treatment for the
No
what
tree.
else? Yeah. So they got the Apo, or they got 3 rerolls? No, Apo, yeah.
2 and an Apo plus leader.
Yeah. So this is Gritter's defense has completely crumbled, hasn't it? Like this part of the field was just wide open for basically the whole of the drive.
Yeah.
I mean, with Wood Elves, you do want to be defending as normally. The only leaping isn't the only option. The first part of defending is just like having a line of defence that people can't get through, as you would with any other team. And the value of leap in that regard is just to make people more defensive in their caging and slowing them down that way. It looks like Gritter's just gone in and just not defended classically. It's something that myself and Purple and Jiminy always say, is that if you're leaping with Wood Elves, then you've done something wrong. Just be using it as a psychological tool.
But then you've always got, that's it, in your back pocket you've always got that 3+ half die just needing a push.
Yeah. Well, it's always an out, but
Yeah. So yeah, that's a huge psychological weapon.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's why Wood Elves are so good. Is that they can play a normal game, and then if that doesn't work, as it often doesn't with Blood Bowl, then they can just go for the rolling some dice with leap option. It's like you've got two tricks up your sleeve.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is just playing a very one-dimensional game of like trying to put your people in the right place.
Yeah. So I think that makes sense there. This here is the danger piece for 20phoenix as far as he's concerned. Something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, leap 5, 6, half die on here. It's probably his best option now. Ideally, he would have wanted to have leapt to here to knock the ball out this side. But that's quite hard to do without taking the extra dodge. Because before he could have just walked to here and then leapt into there.
Yeah, the League Champions prize it's a weird one. It's not really third place because in some circumstances the League Champion can end up with more points than the person who actually won it. If 3 people are on 5 wins at the end of round 5, and then the guy who misses out on tiebreakers doesn't make the final and then wins his last game, he can still be just as high in points total as the guy who actually wins it. The age-old problem with the question with Wood Elves is it looks like he hasn't gone for the leap because he must have blocked over here with this guy.
Yeah. I think he blitzed with the other one, stood up and blitzed with it.
Okay.
So he still won't go for leap because the blitz has been used up.
Yeah.
But then if you're gonna do the leap blitz in on a half die, you can do it just as well on turn 7 as turn 6.
Well, that's the thing is that you don't just have one shot at it. So the idea is to do it on turn 6 and turn 7.
Yeah.
To give yourself as much chance as possible of it working. The chance of it working and you getting the ball when you just try it once it's good, but it's not.
Yeah, it's 56% to knock the ball loose, but then obviously you're up to the vagaries of the Blood Bowl goals as to where the bounce is. And you could even leave yourself needing like a 5+ to pick up. Or it could fall to someone else who catches it. I played Bepe's Wood Elves with my Lizards NAFC Championship 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And he leapt in and stripped a skink 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
Every single time it fell to another skink who caught it on a 6. He was pulling his hair out. It was ridiculous. It's the luckiest game I've ever had. Oh yeah, I put the charger back in, so.
Okay.
Should hopefully work now. We could do a catalogue, headshots of Blood Bowl.
That'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? The camera, it's really good camera. You can tell that from the headshots.
Yeah.
You can see every follicle. It's a really interesting defence from Gritter because he's basically just not defending. There's just no coverage of any particular area of the pitch. Like 20phoenix can just put his cage wherever he wants it.
Yeah.
And you have to wonder if that's a deliberate plan. It's just trying to line up a strip ball next turn.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I would have exposed the strip baller so much.
Oh, this guy is strip baller, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, where's the tackle white?
He's the one on the ground.
Oh, here, okay. So, a little bit. A little bit of safety there. Yeah, I mean, when I'm playing Wood Elves, my strip ball war dancer is never available to be blitzed.
Yeah.
He's always hiding behind a couple of guys. And the only time you get to hit him is after he's had a go at the ball carrier.
Yeah. I'll do another quick game check.
Yeah, this is the problem with kind of giving up position to 20phoenix. That the Undead can now start using the sideline as part of their defence. If the Wood Elves come in here and strip ball, then it's very, very difficult for it to get it out of any of these squares. There's always he could come in here. Ooh. Try and push him out this way, but then you're looking at you know, one bounce at 8 maybe is good, and presumably 20phoenix will put a guy in and around these areas to try and cover that up. So when you're creating a cage like this against Wood Elves, basically what you're thinking about is the angles. It's like, where is the ball going to come out? Just assume that it is going to, just for the sake of defending properly. What's the best case scenario? Is to leap from here, push him back to here, and then the ball is going to come out into one of these squares here. And really and truly, you really need to come out here, or potentially here and then bounce out to here. And slim pickings. It's just a shame that 20phoenix couldn't get one more player around to help with this cage. Just even there, it's a nice central position regardless of where the bounce goes. Here is also great. Is just lining up his catcher for when he's hopefully gets the ball. Turn 7 gets the guy in range. That's what he's hoping for. I think this is the moment. This is the Wood Elf shenanigans. The problem here is that if he goes in, he's getting surfed. The only real protection against the surf, well, he could dodge back out, I guess, on a 3-3-2, but the risk of that is that you don't get the opportunity to pick the ball up. So he's just trying to take care of that tackle white, I believe, so that he's not free to blitz the catcher should the ball thing go well. In we go with the leap. Here it is, big 3+ needed. He's done the leap. Rolled a 1. Can't see where he's rolling the dice, so I don't know what it is. Okay, so it looks like the
So was wonky. He rolled Pousing.
Okay, so the ball is out and it's gone in a terrible position. for the Wood Elves. There's no getting out of there. 3 tackle zones. And that is the problem. If you just leave yourself one strip ball leap attempt, a bad bounce, and that's it. Oh, it's a 1. Don't like that, whatever it is. It's a 4. Where's this guy going? Another 4-up dodge?
Is he going for the ball?
I guess he must be. That is not good enough. Wow. Not sure what was going on there. I mean, at least he's forced
Some hits and a pickup.
Gareth into a pickup. I mean, has Gareth got 4 rerolls left, or has he used all 4?
I think he's got 4 left. He definitely wasn't using them early.
Okay.
So who has he got then? He's got a couple of goals there. Either of those could pick up. It's got to be that, hasn't it? Just there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Avoid the 1 in 9.
Ooh.
Oh, reroll used.
He's got it.
Imagine that, you haven't had to use a reroll the whole game and then you just 1 in 9 just when you need it.
Yeah. I mean, they're the kind of heartbreaking rolls you don't have to make.
Yeah.
When you're rolling a touchdown, you pickups are the worst. I find. Like, I'd much rather make a dodge than a pickup.
Yeah.
Because it's a routine, isn't it? It's dodge something you factor in.
Yeah.
If I pick it up with a ball in 10-8, it just feels horrible.
So a little bit of a game update. We have Jawa's Lizardmen is looking good against Laurentian's Wood Elves. There's about 5 in the casualty box. Sand's Dark Elves are not looking very good against Thomas W's Lizardmen. There are 3 in the casualty box and 1 in the KO box. Yeah, but feel free to chat. No, not at all. So yeah, we're currently streaming the game, and also talking about how some of the top tables are doing, to see who might be in the final. So Fu's looking very good at the moment, so he might make another final. And yeah, of the others we looked at, Jawa's Lizardmen is looking very good against Laurentian's Wood Elves, and the rest are fairly close. So yeah, all to play for. So it's not the top table. We're picking like good matchups. So we've got 20phoenix's Undead against Gritter's Wood Elves. So 20phoenix, we've just finished the first half, and it was a very, very calm drive all the way to the end. Gritter's Stribble Wall Dancer went in, power push. So strip declare, but it fell in a good position, and then 20phoenix managed to pick up, and so Gritter is now trying a 1-turner. Yeah, please do. So you've got the fairly standard one-turner defence here, with these 8 players forming the columns, and then we've got the 3 at the front. Now the tricky thing about trying to one-turn against Undead is you need to manipulate these strength 5 pieces, because it's just a bit too risky to try and get in behind to manipulate the zombie. So what we might see is the sidestepper here. There we go. And then the idea would be to try and get enough dice to blitz this mummy into here, and then get the sidestepper up to this position, and then it's just dice the rest of the way. But we'll see if Gritter has a different plan.
So, do you want to grab one of you guys later for a quick bit before?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. See you there.
San is 2-1 against Thomas W, so it needs to be some kind of blitz or shenanigans for him to win that game.
Okay. Did he turn Thomas W over then? Because when I looked at it, he failed to get a POW or anything on a skink,
right.
But I guess Thomas W couldn't recover.
Yeah, and the ball has turned over in top table game. Rolex has got the ball.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Anything can happen there. So if that game's a draw, then there'll be nobody on 5 wins.
Yeah.
And there could be anybody in the final.
Well, there could be 18 people on 4-1-0.
Yeah.
No. Because we're in the draws. There could be 11 people on 4-1-0. Yeah, 11's a lot. That is not a good lottery.
No. It wouldn't be that many, but it could be 6 or something, and that still feels quite bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a more realistic number. But still, you might... So there might be a game going on, because this is strength of schedule. There could be a game going on table 42 that will decide who gets to the final.
Yeah. But as with all tiebreakers, it's the least worst option.
The least worst option, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than doing on something like touchdowns, because that just rewards Wood Elves and
it rewards people who
who
had a
had
lucky
an easy
draw
game,
as well. Yeah.
So this is huge. So I think we'll be doing it on 1s rather than 6s. I'm not sure they've done that right. Okay, no, so they're reforming. Yeah, so I think they forgot Sweltering Heat. For a moment, I thought they were just going to leave those players in like those positions, which seemed a bit odd. But yeah, that was Sweltering Heat.
Hi everybody, 1 hour left in the round, 1 hour left. If your game is not in the second half, could you please stick your hand up? Thanks guys, once again we are going to have to call games at 3 o'clock, so we don't want to do that, but so just make sure you finish your time.
So here we go for the pass. It's a good pickup. So that is 10 squares, which means that this will be a 4-up pass and then a 4-up catch for the 2 tackle zones. He makes the pass. Doesn't make the catch, needs the catch reroll. It's not over though, it could scatter. He needs something kind. 6. Needs a failed catch and then like a 3, 5 or 8. It's a 4, it's on the ground. 1 turn, attempt over. And we're joined here by Lycos. Hello Lycos, how are you?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Andy for Dan's snuck in
Hi.
as well. He's the
Well, I thought-
referee.
I thought I'd come and give you a championship style score update. Our 2
Yeah.
totally undefeated people, Rolex and K-Push. Food has won 2-0, so he's in the final.
Oh, he got the ball back.
So he's the only five.
He's
So
the
he
only
got
player.
1-0 up, but
Yeah.
Rolex had turned him over,
Yeah.
so he's clearly turned him back.
Got that list of kids?
Sorry?
That list of kids.
Yes.
Gotta have it.
This has gone surreal, this conversation.
So Jim Jimny wants a list of children. I assume this is for the young player.
Yeah, there are about
The rookie
There are
awards?
something like 22 under 18s here.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. We've never had anything like that.
And one of them is playing San on table 9.
And I just played one Cam who's turning into a very good player.
Yeah.
How did you get on against Cam?
I won 2-1.
I need that list.
So you beat,
Yeah, I've got to
a
get to
child,
it,
eh?
yeah.
You beat a child.
Beat
I
Charlie.
did, yeah, but it's Gorgorov's child. He's all right.
He also played
It's
Cam.
getting much better. He's
So just going back to K-Push, he's what? So he's definitely in the final.
He's definitely in the final.
We've still got about 8 teams on 7 points, including Wales halflings,
Yeah.
who could make the NAFC Champions final.
And he was looking good.
Strength, yeah, he is winning still.
Is he really?
Strength of schedule suggests that he's probably a little bit behind. But
Yeah.
you never know. So, but core at the moment is 9-4-0 against untouchdowns after 5 games, and yeah, he's busted it. So.
my only
He's
hope.
a massive favourite. When I said to him you could be playing halflings, he was like, that is probably the worst of all worlds. Because the potential disaster
Well,
is
that's
there.
it. And also,
Pressure.
Still the reroll.
as
Exactly,
as
yeah.
Rolex pointed out, nobody wants to be known as the guy that lost
That
the
lost
NAF
to the
championship
halflings
against
and
halflings.
Exactly.
Oh,
So,
you're the
dream was
guy.
on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so wow. So when I looked over, some of these other players. So
this is a pitch invasion.
no, this is another.
Must be.
No,
Pitch
this
invasion.
it's a sweltering heat. They forgot to do it again.
No, that can't be sweltering. How's sweltering heat's when you
Oh, they've got a pitch
This is a
invasion
pitch
as well
invasion.
as sweltering heat.
Yes. Because yeah, look, it's got to be. No, mate, your boys can. They play roll for each other's stuff. There you go.
It's all kicked off here.
It's a narrow field, isn't it? Wood elves, undead, dwarves, and dark elves. There's obviously a lot of stunties here because of the nature of the tournament.
That's why it's nice to see. Last round we streamed Panico Black's Amazons against Stig's Humans.
Yeah, two of the
That was
lesser
a
known
really
teams.
good game, and
Yeah.
two of the teams we haven't seen as much. Stig is now on table 2 against Andy Davo's Dark Elves, whilst Panico Black is in that game against Woolsif's Halflings.
Oh wow.
We also have Watford Boys Dwarves against Everybody's Dead Dave's Pro Elves. Jawa's Lizardman had done quite a lot of damage to Laurentian's Wood Elves last time we checked.
It's good to see Orcs up there.
San was 2-1 up against Thomas W, so it looks like he's won that one. And Besters looked to be doing pretty well as well in his game against From Her Ashes.
Do you know what? There's not as many here as I thought there would be, and that's necromantic.
Yeah, they've disappeared this season.
That's really
this
interesting.
year.
Well, because of the Wood Elf, I think because of the World Cup roster being so strong for them, this not being the same roster, the same skill set, you just lose that extra skill on day one.
Yeah.
That people are getting used to,
Yeah.
and of course you drop that little bit of money less as well.
Yeah,
So the
makes a
player
big
choice.
difference.
So I think it's just goes to show that World Cup roster just does something for chaos and necromantic, which are everywhere in any rule set with the World Cup
Yeah.
rule set. And all of a sudden, you come to something like this, and that little tweak there's very few.
That's it. It's amazing. Like the World Cup, the tiering system. So many people are looking at the tier 3 teams and saying
of
these
course
are
it is.
now the best.
Well, I was kind of sceptical about it, and then took the Underworld
yeah.
to a 1 day of 4 games, 4-0. You know, it's I didn't concede because you don't have to go mad on star players either. It's just the rule set's just nice.
So Gritter choosing to use a reroll on a pickup there, which is probably quite sensible because it looks like he's about to get swamped. He is 3 players down.
Well, yeah. Oh goodness me! He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4 standing, 3 the sweltering heat took out. Yikes!
No, he's using the wrong box. This is a casualty box.
No, I was just looking at the pitch.
Oh right, yeah, on the pitch. Yeah.
I was, I mean, what's in
the pitch invasion?
What's in the box can't come out right now. But
yeah.
Are they just starting second half?
Yes. Yeah, they're a bit slow.
Well, no, I was quick, I suppose. No, he's going for it.
But I think both are true.
Possibly. I'm not going to comment on that. This is interesting. He's going all out here, isn't he? He's basically making sure he can do a 2-turn score. What's the score now?
So it's 1-0 to Phoenix.
Yeah, there you go. He's sit deep, stand those players up next turn. Gareth is undead, isn't he?
Yes. So this is a tackle white.
What table number would have this have been?
This is table 16.
Oh, right. Okay.
So these guys are both out of contention.
I was going to say that. I mean, are they in contention?
Yeah. But we were going to go for one of the highest placed stunty teams. Simply because we wouldn't necessarily have it in the last rounds.
Are you going to screen the final?
So we're going to screen the final, yeah. So that's the main fan. Yeah. So.
Bang.
Yeah, exactly. Don't really want to talk about that.
Take it in a minute.
So do you keep many lists of children?
I've been known to, beat them 6-0 and stuff like that.
Okay. Different sort of list.
Different sort of list. Yeah, you're right. I do need to give Jim that list.
Hello, mate.
John.
Hello.
We have a Maltese invasion. Three of us.
Everything okay? How's the streaming going?
The streaming is going really well. We've had some good games, haven't we?
Yeah.
Except mine. That
Well, that
wasn't
was
really
a good game. That was a good game too.
The Italian chat that they're all watching. They've been watching the whole day, even yesterday. So
Oh, good, excellent.
people are-
Did they get to see Panico
Yes.
in actually? Yeah.
And Matt Storm yesterday as well.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point actually.
How what an awesome match that was. Crazy.
That was insane. That game. That was because we were thinking that it was. There was about like turn 5 of the first half, and we were kind of like struggling for things to say.
Yeah.
And then we like made this comment that anything can happen with Wood Elf, so maybe he should form a bit of a net to catch it, just in case shenanigans happened. And he didn't, and then shenanigans did happen, and then it was the other end of the pitch, and then he lost all his players. And we were like, oh, okay, this is now crazy. Yeah, good game.
I want to go home and watch it.
Yeah, definitely, it's a good game.
So K-Food has won.
Yeah.
So Dan just came in there.
D for Dan, the giggling man,
Okay.
came over and giggled it to us.
So he's definitely in the final.
Definitely in the
The only
final,
5-0.
looking for his NAF Champs hat trick.
Could be against Halflings.
So Rolex has lost. Yeah, he lost to K-Food.
There's a chance he could have been in against Thomas W as well. He had a chance to get in the final, but he lost like that.
Oh, right.
See you later, mate.
So
So
if Andy
San
d-
is on 4-1-0,
Okay.
so San could be in the final.
Speeding Bullet and what's Jim on? Speeding Bullet. He's on 4 wins.
No, all of them. So table 9 to table 2 are all on 3-1-0. So
really?
a winner, all the winners from tables 2 to 9 could be into a shot to meet K-Food in the
You
final.
could be on table 7 and qualify.
So yeah, if Will's on table 7 wins his game, he could make the final. Although, as D for Dan said, his strength of schedule is not quite as good as
Yeah,
some others.
Panico Blacks will be very high though. So if he wins that game, he'll.
He's losing at the moment, just too.
Is he?
Yeah, Wilf is winning against Panico. So Panico's currently losing.
Very good. Right.
Seems like Wilf has been using throw teammate to good effect this tournament, more than just the final turn, one-turn touchdown
Oh,
attempts.
put players in position.
Yeah, so he's it looks like he's been doing very
You throw
well.
a guy who hasn't moved, and then you run a hand off to him, and then
Yeah.
off they get.
Nice.
Because it's a free shot, you can do it, and if it doesn't work, then
That's
you,
no turnover.
you don't have to roll, you don't have to do that. You just stay
Yeah.
in your cage.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be pretty upsetting if you'd got 4-1-0 with halflings and then you lost out of the final to bonus points. You'd be thinking, hold on a minute.
Well, strength of schedules first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're there on the basis of who you've played. So if the strength of schedule is weaker, then you can't really argue that.
I mean,
But
there might be a good argument.
I'd take maybe having a shot at 5-1-0 at the NAF champs with Halflings. I wouldn't necessarily.
I wonder if
League
another
champions
potential,
with halflings.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if another potential tiebreaker is if you didn't have tiering on skills, you could have tiering as a tiebreaker. I don't think you can have both because that was an issue with the World Cup, where it looked like there were some tier 3 teams that would do very well, plus having had a mega load of extra skills. Yeah, you can't balance it and then give them the favour.
I think Witter's looking to go the other side now.
Did Britta get his one turner?
No, he. The ball was deep, so he had sweltering heat.
Oh, right.
So quite a few went off.
And then they had.
And then the ball went
like
deep,
pitch
so he
invasion.
needed to do a long pass, and he made the throw on a 4, but then 1 and 2 to catch in 2 tackle zones. And then the bounce was unkind as well. So
You've got it so that you can't. Oh, there's the way I'm looking at it. The mats.
yeah, well, what happened was Gritter, we'd nicely aligned them, like the bottom one, and then Gritter decided to roll. He put the mat onto the board and was rolling on that, so he's just put it back. But of course, he's put it back in the wrong angle. That guy. And then so the pitch invasion basically meant that Gritter just had to kind of do nothing for a turn. So he sent 3 elves high and wide to try and draw them over, and left his ball carrier deep and safe.
If he hands that off
And it
now,
was like
he's
he's
sort
splitting
of.
it. But I think it's good with that.
Totally
like when your players
repositioning.
down, trying to turn it from a horizontal game into a vertical game, or if you're watching on the stream at this moment, from a vertical line game to a horizontal line game, all of a sudden the Elves really come into it because quite often you're catching on a 3 and 1 tackle zone and dodging on a 2. So
That's why I took 2 sidestep.
not the worst place to be. Well, yeah, Gritter's gone for a side stepper as well.
Yeah, I've taken 2. Just purely because I want to control the. You want to control who can get in. As you say, I play it as a vertical with Wood Elves, playing it as a keep at least one catcher all the way downfield, just within 8 range. Oh, he's past it. Right, I'm going to make Jim's day. Give him a list of children's numbers.
So Gritter has quite a nice screen down these players, but he's going to need to do something about this guy, which he's looking to do now. It's the dodge. And the go.
Just have to wait and see whether Gritter's going to put it in early.
And another go.
With only 8 players left, it'd be a bold move.
Oh, it's a leap out.
Wow.
Makes it. Easy mode. So I think he's got to be careful here, like we were talking about in some of the other games, not to immediately dive for the corner. Trying to keep a nice line here.
Absolutely.
And then slowly giving up a couple of squares a turn. Because you're just forming like a first line. You're almost defending rather than attacking at this point because you can sort of go backwards.
Yeah.
Of course, this game's a little bit different in that because neither of these guys can make the final, they might see a draw as a decent result against a tricky opponent.
Yeah.
And then try and win their last one just for good placing.
What are you looking for? Yeah. I don't. Yeah, you just don't want to be risking losses when there's nothing to play for, really.
Yeah.
Just keep that O. Yeah, so even though Gritter is in scoring range, just 2 go for it to score, you may not want to score this turn. It's like committing to 2 rerolls with having used a reroll over here already. Probably not what you want to do. Double skulls there for Poor old 20 Phoenix. He may be thinking about taking it. Yeah, he's taking it. That makes sense. He's not really going to achieve a great deal this turn otherwise. You might as well just... And that's the benefit of moving all your players first. There's a classic example of what some of the other coaches who didn't do this turn. He's moved all of his players first, and then when he's rolled up obstacles, he's able to just take it. And he's in a position where it doesn't impact the next turn that he takes. So it's how many turns that Gritter thinks he wants to squeeze out of it, I guess. Yeah, because there's a fairly easy sort of even a double cage you could get in this area, get rid of this guy, but it does leave you vulnerable to being boxed in next turn and then forced to score on your turn 5, leaving the Undead with 4 turns left to score, which is very, very doable for Undead. So just knocking that skeleton down. Taking a few blocks here. Well, this is interesting. Gritter may just be looking to hand off to the catcher this turn and score immediately. Or even just camp out over here with the catcher instead, hopefully out of range. Always a reroll in. It's very interesting. Oh, double 1 from Gritter. Oh my god. That's incredible. Oh my god, it's a double 1 on the war dancer. Oh, stunned. Still, that's absolutely huge. The ball carrier is just standing around, absolutely naked. Gonna get thumped. I believe this is the tackle right here, so he's not going to be able to get the tackle involved, but the wrestle dude, I imagine, will want to have words. Again, just a nice example of the solo player we were talking about earlier. 20phoenix just standing up his guys. He knows he's not going to be doing anything else with them. Get them back into reasonable positions. So the question is 20phoenix going to try and, I'm not sure whether, so Gritter's just double wand
Oh no!
with this war dancer over here, stunned as well.
Okay.
So the ball carrier is now on his Todd, about to get thumped.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, sorry for the extended break. I was trying to find a bit more information out about how some of the games are going. It looks like Andy Davo is doing well against Stig.
I thought the Stig was 1-up.
He was, but they just told me. I don't know the score.
Okay. So he might be driving for a draw.
No, Andy Davo told me he was absolutely going for a win.
Okay.
It was win or bust.
Okay.
Because there's no point at this stage doing anything else. Ooh, 1 in 9.
Reroll used before the hit on the ball. Not sure what was going on there. Just trying to free up somebody to hit the war dancer. Is just the wrestle what?
That is the wrestle
Ghoul.
Ghoul, yes, that's the wrestle Ghoul.
Okay.
Which makes sense as a choice. Here we go. 7 for the hit.
Oh, he's got the power as well. Absolutely perfect. If you hadn't used the reroll, there's potential to do a go for it to try and push the guy back here to take a second block with one of these guys. But having used the reroll, he had to just go straight for the ball.
Oh, that shiny coin is upsetting the camera. Well, these guys have got to get a wriggle on. They've got 34 minutes. And this is a round that does need to finish on time.
Oh, looks like a cheeky foul as well. Getting stuck in there. Oh, double 6 on the foul. And double 6 again.
Oh, he's gone.
Double six foul.
That was
And
venomous.
another 6
Six.
to argue the call. The perfect foul. 5 6s in a row.
No, I think that 6 was dead because he's got an
Oh,
elbow.
right. Dead. Wow.
Double 6 armor, double 6 injury, 6 dead.
Wow.
Well, you take that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd absolutely take that.
That'll do. Is that both ordinances? Oh no, the other ordinance.
The other one is still down. That's probably the more dangerous one. The orange one with strip ball. And yeah, we just let the refs know that they're running a bit slow. So I think Alex is going to go over and have a chat with him. The thing what you could have done with 5 6s in a row. Could have done
Anything you
liked.
wanted.
This is the thing with Elves, the ball is loose and only in one tackle zone. So it looks like Grit is lining up a passing play here.
Still score here quite easily. They're obviously with 4 dead guys.
He needs to. So that will be the thrower, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be a thrower pickup on the ball. So it looks like he's making a block here. Just to not. No, not quite. I thought the block was here, but
I guess not.
I guess not. So 3 up pick, makes it, 2 up dodge, makes it, waste of a 5 and a 6. Now it looks like there's a throw declared, so where, oh, it's a short throw to the wrestler guy. Okay, so it looks like he's going to actually go and hand off.
No, it's just go for it, isn't it, to get in range?
Oh, to get in range, right. So interception failed, pass is good, catch is good.
Howdy, y'all. You got 30 minutes left.
Is that not a catcher?
I thought that was a catcher. Oh, it's 2 tackle zones. Well, why didn't he re-roll for catch skill? Yeah, that confused me there. Maybe we missed something in the dice order that was being rolled, and oh, maybe he rolled the pass. Yeah, I think he rolled the pass before the intercept.
Right.
In which case it was 3-2 on the catch.
Sure.
Whereas I thought the 3 was on the pass because the intercept should come first. Yeah, so it must have been something like that. Is that game over? It should be.
You would think so.
So hitting the side stepper, triple pow.
3 dice for tackle. Tackle declined. Oh, it's
And
through.
it's through.
Oh, he's knocked out. This is the end of the year. What else? Thinking about the Apo. Why is he going there, mate? It's not dead.
So he's blocked the side stepper and then caught the ball for his troubles.
Nice.
Nice. Perfect play.
Oh, that might not be ideal though, because that the guy.
No, it's terrible.
Yes, the guy who hit him. Yeah.
Because there's a war dancer who I imagine is going to get a shoeing.
Yeah.
So just in case people were wondering, so we do think it was a mistake that he put him into the casualty box rather than a KO. But our rule is, even if we see mistakes, we don't interfere. It's up to the 2 players to play their game. We are merely observers.
line for 20 Phoenix. Failed to go for it on a 1. Made it.
I've done most of tomorrow's electric rounds, and I've got something now with all the.
Awesome. Mine gets a push, but he needs more. He's re-rolled it, and he's got the knockdown.
No, it's a half dice.
Oh, it's half dice.
So yeah, let's go.
Of course, yeah. Oh, just assumed it was 2.
When we do the final, are you gonna introduce like, and it's K-Fod versus Will in the Astro Championship final, and it's live?
Yeah, definitely. I am now. With really inappropriate. And it's live.
You guys are streaming all the games on Facebook. They'll be available after the tournament, won't they?
Yeah, that's right. Grab the camera. So this is our setup that we've got. So we've got all the Blood Bowl going on here right now.
So you guys have been here all weekend, basically streaming all the matches.
Yeah. Joe's been here since Tuesday, making sure everything was set up right.
Yeah, Tuesday last year.
Yeah.
I've been here for 369 days, making sure this all works.
So you guys, how long have you been going on Facebook and doing streaming like this for?
Well, Dan, this is my first go as a co-commentator. This is all Dan's stuff. He is the technical and.
Dan is the technical man.
Yeah.
So we started it for some Euro Bowl coverage. So I had a word about this time last year with Hawker, who was running it last year, and I said, did he want to do some streaming? Just because it got really popular with a lot of tabletop games. And then I spent the summer kind of working out how to get it to look all right on the stream, because obviously there are some challenges with making sure people can see what's going on. And we ran it at Euro Bowl. It was really good fun. Got lots of good viewers. Obviously, being an international tournament, we had lots of people supporting their team from around Europe. So it was good fun.
Great. I'll check out the games when I get home, because obviously I'm here today doing all this. But just thought I'd come and say hi to you guys and see how you're all doing. I'm from Mini Monologue on Facebook, so check it on YouTube as well.
Excellent.
So I do unboxings for Two Drunk Flings, and I'm here just
Perfect.
covering the tournament to get some court tournament coverage later in the week. But
Awesome.
obviously you guys are way ahead of the game because you're covering it right now. But great to meet you guys.
Yeah, you too, man.
Good weekend, and I'll see you soon.
See you later, mate.
Thanks.
Over another walk round.
Bye. Oh, no, you're not. You're stuck. We've trapped you.
They've trapped me in their web of cables. Yeah, we're all good. You win and I do.
Yeah, so Ali Ryder just confirmed it was a 3 and a 2 for the catch. So we did have that feels like a long time ago now. As the ball is heading off downfield, so 20 Phoenix is under no pressure to actually score from here. He just wants to make some distance to make it as safe as possible.
Yeah, so I think it looks very, very comfortable now for the Undead. Driving down the pitch, having a picnic. Continuing to break armour. I think we can safely call this game. Hey, my Graham. Yeah, so Gareth 20phoenix now has got just free reign to mega bunker up here, just lines and waves of defence. Not too sure why this guy's here. Probably much better off being here. If this was going to be the cage. But it probably won't matter at this point. Most of the Wood Elves are departing. Yeah, our concerns about timing have been resolved quite emphatically. Oh, another armor break. It's only a stun, but at this point, that's as good as dead. Yeah, nothing Gritter can do. It's just a cakewalk, a moonwalk into the end zone, and that will be 2-0. Touch down. Boom.
When I co-commentate for food, I'm going to do that every time he scores a touchdown now.
Yeah, Gareth played well. Made a lot of good micro plays, a lot of high level. Just getting the basics right. We haven't seen that necessarily in every single game. There's been a lot of small criticisms we can make, but Gareth has played very well. Oh, another guy dead.
There we are, the players shake hands, it is all over. 2-0 to 20phoenix in round 5 of the NAF Championship. So we are going to take a short break here, guys, and we will be back for the final.
My little tray, thank you so much. I might just do a little bit of bolster under it for a tiny bit more integrity to carry it, but it's beautiful.
Great, I'm glad you like it.
Better than my much missed back, so thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So guys, we will see you for the final soon.